Good evening, and welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting, February 24th, 2014. Just a reminder that this meeting is being audio and video recorded digitally. We'll call the meeting to order, and our first order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. Mary Ann, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, sure.
Flag's right over here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
Thank you.
Chairman's comments. There are no chairman's comments tonight. And just a reminder that Citizens Query is open from 7:05 to 7:15. And it is now about 3 minutes past 7. So tonight we have 3 appointments. The first appointment is at 7:15 with Mary Ann Lavasser and Tim Southall to discuss Eris Park Playground. 7:30 appointment with Barbara and Alan Gasper to discuss Grange Hall availability. And 8 p.m. joint meeting with the Planning Board and Town Council Judith Pickett on Gerzac Lane and executive session for litigation. So we will jump right into general business. Okay, our first general business is an appointment of Patricia Testa as Assistant Town Accountant. And we have a letter from the Town Accountant. It says, Board of Selectmen. After reviewing the applications for the position of Assistant Town Accountant, I recommend that the Board of Selectmen appoint Patricia Testa to the position. Sincerely, Susan Bailey, Town Accountant. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded to appoint Patricia Testa as Assistant Town Accountant. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General business number 2, Northeast Mosquito Control Notice of Aerial Application. And please include the following legal notice in the next edition of the Essex County newspapers. Should you require any further information, please contact me at 463-6630. And this is from, actually, Bill Mahaffey is the district supervisor for the Essex County Mosquito Control. That's a new appointment. Bill Mahaffey is a Raleigh boy. That's great. It's actually legal notice, aerial application control mosquito larva on coastal salt marshes and upland habitat. The Northeast Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District will conduct helicopter applications of the larvicide BTI to control mosquito larvae over salt marshes in Salisbury, Newburyport, Newbury, Rowley, Ipswich, Saugus, Revere, and any other new subscribing community if requested. A spring application to freshwater habitat will also be an operation for supporting communities within a district at the request of the local Board of Health, as in the past. Applications will be conducted as necessary during daylight hours from April 1st, 2014 through October 2014. The material to be applied, BTI, is a natural bacterial found in soil and water. BTI is very selective larvicide which is non-toxic to people as well as to birds, fish, bees, and to virtually all other insect species. BTI only affects mosquito larvae and a few other closely related aquatic insects in the fly family. The BTI will be applied by helicopter flying low and directly over the salt marsh and or upland habitat. Residents need not take any special precautions due to the safety of BTI and because the application will occur directly over wetlands. For further information, contact Bill Mahaffey, District Supervisor of the Northeast Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District at 978-463-6630. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion, we accept the legal notice application.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General business item number 3, stable license renewal application for Richard Bertelson. Okay, we have the license here.
Mr. Chairman, everything's in order on this application.
Okay, so the outstanding bill has been paid? Okay. So this was, if you remember right, when we did the other applications, there was a holdup on this because of an outstanding water bill.
Yep.
So that's been taken care of. So,
Make the motion to approve.
okay, motion made to approve the application. Is there any,
Second.
motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. Actually, the motion's already made, right?
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we need to sign it. Okay, very good. Okay, the next order of business is old business, and it's the 375th anniversary update. You all set, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very pleased to note that the Raleigh 375, the committee that has been set up for to celebrate the anniversary of our town's founding, we have a website, and there is a link from the town website to get to our that will have information on what we're planning. We hope to have concerts through the summer. We are planning a parade, and we're planning a road race in September on the day of the founding on September 4th. We're planning a parade and a chowder fest, and a mural picture on the common has been done in the past, and we're also will continue on the celebration on Sunday. And I would point out, too, that the Congregational Church is celebrating their 375th anniversary of their founding, and that will be in the early part of December. But we're going to, we finally got the latest revision of our letter to solicit funds, donations to the founding for the committee to raise to help defray the cost of the events that we're going to have during the year. And the letter has been approved, and we will get it printed, and we'll be hitting the pavement to ask the businesses in and around Raleigh to make a donation of funds to help us out with the celebration. We should have some fun this year.
Yeah,
We
very
should
good.
enjoy it.
Okay, you guys are doing a great job. Okay, item number 2 on old business, physical 15, budget and town meeting update. Debbie is working on getting the budgets ready and on town meeting articles. Because Bob Snow is away tonight, we will hold off on reviewing the budgets until next week, when Bob can be here. So, that one's taken care of.
Have all of the departments responded to?
Yeah, we're getting them in. I'm still working on them, though some of them packets haven't been sent out yet.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Under old business, the next is item number 3, and it's award contract for annex project. to the Honorable Board of Selectmen from Town Administrator Deborah Egan. Annex Repair and Restoration Project. 4 general bids were received in response to the invitation for bids for the Town Hall Annex Repair and Restoration Project. Bids were opened on Wednesday, February 12th, 2014. Campbell Construction Group, LLC of 21 Collar Street, Peabody, Mass. was the lowest bidder. The price breakout is as follows. General bid price, $138,221. The sub-bid portion of the general bid price is $38,000. The sub-bidder on this contract is also Campbell Construction Group, LLC. The bid submitted by Campbell Construction Group, LLC is complete and meets the requirements in the bid documents. We have conducted reference checks and have received positive feedback. Campbell Construction Group, LLC is a responsible and eligible bidder offering the lowest price. Therefore, in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 149, I recommend that the Board of Selectmen award the contract for the Town Hall Annex Repair Restoration Project to Campbell Construction Group, LLC in the amount of $138,221. I am also asking for authorization to approve this expenditure from the following accounts. Account number 20, 670, 5910, 100. Annex Exterior Article number 17, May 2013, Town Meeting, and the balance is $135,000. 194, 5510, 101, Annex Second Floor Repairs, balance $5,765. Is there any questions or discussions?
I move that we,
You got anything to add, Deb?
No, I don't.
You're all set, okay?
I move that we authorize the, and approve the expenditure from those accounts.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say, Mr. Chairman, that this project has been a long time in coming, and it's been delayed with the many other projects and stuff that the office staff has been doing here, and it's going to really be great to have this building restored
Yes.
and well on its way for the anniversary of it. I believe it should be completed. What is there a completion expected date?
Yeah, we're trying to wrap it up in about 4 weeks.
So
5
hopefully
weeks.
it'll be done then before the summer season, or at least before the fall for the anniversary date. So it's exciting to see it being done. It's a big project, and I
Yeah,
thank Debbie and her crew for putting all the effort and work into this.
And there was a lot of work done in it, too.
Yes.
I can attest to that part of it.
And we've gotten to a point almost on the siding, you see something hanging down and you go to push it up and you don't dare because it might knock 2 or 3 other boards off. So it's time.
Yeah, very, very much so. Okay, entertain the motion. Motion's been made and seconded.
Right.
Entertain the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Great.
Okay, that takes care of old business. Actually, no, we got one more on old
Baseball.
business, I'm sorry. Old business, Brad Street Baseball Field Project. And the contract with Meridian was put on hold due to a review of possible conflict of interest concerns. Debbie has received an email from Jeff Domer of Meridian that addresses the issues of concern. The email contains a response from the State Ethics Commission. Does the Board of Selectmen wish to proceed? Attached is the contract that had been previously authorized in the amount of $28,250. If the Board of Selectmen wishes to proceed, Debbie is requesting that the Board revote to authorize her to sign the Meridian contract for this phase of the project.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this is another one of those projects that's been on the books for a while. Not as long as the Center School, but
Not quite.
you and I have been meeting with Tim Southall, who's here tonight for the other part of the meeting. And a lot of work and effort, once again, has been put in by the administrative staff here to put these specs together and to get this whole thing designed. And then the conflict of interest come in from the architect who was involved in an issue with another case, a legal case the town has. It kind of got put on hold for a temporary period of time, but at this point, that is, the town administrator said it's been resolved, and we're all anxious, I think, to move forward on this project so that hopefully when the snow eventually melts, that we'll be in a position to make a final okay and move forward. So this is a big step also, and I'd be glad to give you the motion to reauthorize the $28,250.
Second.
And to also allow Debbie to sign the contract.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to follow up on the letter that we received. They found that there's no conflict of interest between the company doing the work and the company doing the work on the ball field and the individual.
I have an email there that does, that came from the State Ethics Commission on that.
Right.
So they went through the various factors under the statute to determine whether there would be, and they have found that there isn't. So if the board wishes to proceed, we're at a point now where, at least for this phase of the whole development of that area into active recreational fields and areas, that's probably prudent to just move forward at this point to get this underway.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, our only option really otherwise is to change architects and to go back and redo what's already been done. And the conflict doesn't involve the design of this project or anything directly involved with this project. It's regarding another outside matter. So, you know, I think it's important that we once again move forward. And well, that's it all, I guess.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
No.
We have the motion
We
on
have the
table.
motion, we
Yeah.
have the second. I'll entertain a vote. All
Right.
those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I'll get it down someday. Okay, the time being about 4 minutes past, 19 minutes past the hour, actually. We have a 7:15 p.m. Appointment with Marion Lavassa and Tim Southall to discuss Eris Park Playground. So we'll go into that. If you guys want to talk to us and see
Sure.
what we got to do, we got to...
Thank you for
Everybody's
putting
got the
us on
package?
your agenda this evening. It's nice to see everyone, and Ron Jenkins is also
Welcome
with us here
aboard,
this
Ron.
evening. To review, to go back to 2009, Stephanie Jenkins passed away in 2009 of cancer, and we decided to become proactive about it and thought we were going to start in a small way, raise some money for the park. And it's just been a joy to all of us to continue it, and this is the 5th year, unfortunately,
Wow, it
for the
doesn't seem that
Jenkins
long
family,
ago.
but
Oh, my
for the
God.
community, it's played out in a really positive way.
Yeah.
So each year we have 2 fundraisers, a comedy night and a golf event. The Ipswich Country Club is one of our biggest supporter. They allow us to hold our events there. We raise the money. In the beginning, we chatted about, Dana Farber being the place where our money might be donated to. But then as we discussed it, we felt like with such a small community, it could have a bigger impact if we just put the money back into the playground. The playground was built by a group of mothers in the mid-90s, and we built on to what they did. We realized that the playground was in a little bit of neglect when we started our adventure in 2010. And we've worked together. It's been a lot of fun we've had out of it, and we see that the children in the community are really enjoying it, and the parents. So I'll have Tim go into the numbers and everything. So I just kind of wanted to give you an update that we did make the choice to continue to invest into the park. And other people, unfortunately, have died of cancer in the community. One young woman, Danielle Yajajian, passed away a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. They've banded with us, and they began to donate to the park.
Wow, that's great.
And it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
really nice that,
That's terrific.
the town has a place for the kids to go like
Right.
that. It really is.
It
I mean,
is.
for years, we didn't have anything like that at all.
I know. And Miss Brenda's preschool has had 2 fundraisers over the last 2 years. I think she's gathered around $2,000
Oh, wow. That's
from
great.
her small preschool. They've donated. And so it's become a team effort. The families show up each year at the installation. So you have Danielle's family showing up. We have the Jenkins family and people in the community. And then people that have died of cancer, we remember at the park. Roy Nealand, there's a bench down there with his name on it. That family got together and donated towards the park.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
That's-
so
it
little
really is.
small, ways to improve the park, and it's just become a great place to go. And so we want to continue our efforts, but there are other issues that have come up, and we're not going to stop. We've got our comedy night coming up in March, and the golf event is scheduled. So we're here to stay.
That's great.
Excellent.
That's absolutely great.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
We've also, what's the number of people now so far we've helped?
We've helped our 27th person we voted on this week at our meeting. We meet every week. We try to meet every week on Friday at Dunkin' Donuts in Raleigh. And the committee's only 3, and that's why we get a lot of work done.
And keep the businesses
We,
going in town also.
Yeah, well, the people that meet, Tim does a lot of work, on the he is on the committee, but Dominic Femino is Stephanie's brother, and Ron and myself, we meet, and then we go out, we'll talk to Tim. Tim gets there when he can. Joe Greenwood in town, Ron's sons. It's a very small organization because it's just, we started out, we said we can't have 10 people on a committee. Sometimes you just don't get
Things
a
get
lot of
done
things
easier
done.
when it's a little bit smaller.
Right.
Right. So we've helped 26 people with cancer.
Wow.
We give them funds. We don't give them cash. We buy gift cards to maybe food stores for transportation, parking costs, prescription, CVS stores, the places of their choice. And we buy the gift cards and we present them with the gift cards. And that's how we help them. One man who unfortunately passed away, he needed vitamin C shots. So we paid for them directly. So it's things like that. We don't pay for utility bills and mortgages, and we're not that kind of an organization. But Ron shared, at the meeting, it cost thousands of dollars in the short 6 months that he
Yeah.
dealt with this
Yep.
disease, and so it's a really great way to help someone out. And we voted this past week on our 27th person, and it's not all people in Raleigh. People come to us from all different places, and that's been very humbling to see. And we've awarded 9 high school scholarships.
Excellent.
Wow.
Wow.
So so it's been to cosmetology and nursing students.
Very good.
Stephanie was a cosmetologist, and when she was ill, she really admired the nursing field, and the care that she had was amazing. And so that was something that she had thought about. So so I think we're just plugging along.
Very good.
So you folks have, did they get a copy?
Yeah,
They have a copy of our newest edition that we'd like to put on the park, that we just would like to get your approval on. This is a section that's kind of a little bit more for the younger
I don't know
kids.
If Nate can hone in on that and how well it would be, but
We've tried it, we've kind of restructured and moved equipment down there. We work with a gentleman by the name of Steve Dibble, who does a great job making sure that everything is up to safety standards as far as state goes. When we did kind of go in there and clean things up, that was one of the things we needed to do, was needed to bring the playground back up to safety standards. So this is a new structure that we'd like to add. It's rated more for toddlers. So that's one of the things that we're looking tonight to have you guys approve so we can move forward. We have an installation date scheduled for?
Yes, May 3rd and 4th. We usually go with a rain date. It's a weekend usually. And that's about an $8,000 structure.
yeah, we've got it up on the
That
screen.
brings us to about $40,000. That's all. So Stephanie has donated to the town
Wow.
for the playground.
That's awesome.
So it is a good thing. I mean, it's amazing a lot of how much good has come out of such a sad experience, but so much positive has been able to come out of that. So I did meet with Selectman Peterson and Murray and talked about the main structure is going to need some replacing the next year or two, and we're looking for the town to help us out with that part of the playground.
Right. Tim, you mentioned that, it's amazing how it happens, but we live in a small town, and that's the crux of a small town. People come together when things get tough,
Yeah,
Yep.
and they make good things that come out of bad things.
absolutely.
They really do. And to be perfectly honest with you, that's why I love the town of Raleigh.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I've lived here all my life, and that's one of the key issues with the town. It's how it works and comes together like that. It's always done it. So that's very good. Thank you so much for everything you guys do.
Thank you for your support
Yep. Thank you. Well,
and
it's
accepting all the donations and working with us.
yeah, that's the least we can do. It really is. Yeah.
Do we need a motion or to accept or?
Just one comment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
We've been working with you and I have been working on the capital outlay budget for capital items, and we did discuss with Tim putting some money into the playgrounds. We haven't come to any final decisions, and the snow is rapidly eating away our
Yeah.
available funds that we're gonna put in next year, but we're really looking in the next year or two for the town to contribute some money towards this whole thing. So it should really be as it moves forward, in conjunction with you people and obviously the fantastic work you're doing and have done. We want to make sure that we're able to contribute something to that too. So
Thank you.
make it a much
Well, we'll
nicer area.
still fundraise, so we will still contribute.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
we
not
need,
looking
We
to-
definitely need that.
yeah, no, for
We're-
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we're still
definitely need
banding
that part.
together.
Yeah, we very much appreciate that, and the town will,
So this is a
wants to support
we're
you.
presenting this as a donation. So I guess
Right.
Right.
So at this point, I mean, I would think we'd accept the donation after you get it installed.
would we have
That
to,
would be the-
We're
Right,
done.
they need permission to install it.
right.
They need permission to install. Okay, we'll ask for a motion for that. Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept the donation
No, to actually give permission to install?
Well, the.
and permission to install.
Because it's town.
Okay,
'Cause I think we need to give them permission before they put it in, so.
yeah. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you very
in.
much.
And here's an invitation to the comedy night, just so you know what,
Did you get that on SCN?
what was that?
Thank you.
Media?
Oh, no.
Send a copy of
Oh,
SCN.
should I do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much,
she'll
I
put
will
it
do
up.
that.
She'll put it up on the bulletin board.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks, Tom.
Certainly.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marion.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, great to see everybody. Yeah. Oh, there goes the tea.
Okay, the appointed time being 7:30, we're actually on time for the second appointment, which is Barbara and Alan Gasper to discuss Grange Hall availability. Okay. I guess you guys are up.
I believe you all have information on the letter from Ann that she sent to the State Grange requesting information on what happens to the building in the event that the building is given up. And it started out at the CBC. They were wondering how the selectmen felt about this and wanted a clarification of it. And it boils down to that if or when a Grange closes up, the State Grange takes all assets. And here in this, you have a document here from the State Grange of the first right of refusal. And if the Grange were to turn in its charter, it would behoove the Grange to come to the town and give you a first right of refusal before this even took place. The State Grange does not want the building, and they would have no question in signing off and giving you the right to the building for $1. Now, should the Grange go out tomorrow and sell the hall, and you put all this money into it, the money would go to the State Grange, but they would give the town all the monies that were invested in the building. That's basically it, is it
Yeah.
not?
If the Grange for some reason be put in a position where it needs to sell the hall, if the town says that they don't want it and approves us going forward with this, with a sale of it, then the money that we are given has to be repaid. And the document that you have was sent to me by a member of the executive committee of the State Grange. And this was recently done with a Grange in the southern part of the state. Only in their case it involved the Historical Society, so there was a much larger package there. But that was, all the wording and everything in that particular document was approved. We can adjust that any way we want as our document, but that was given to me as an example of what had been approved and what had been done in the past.
Okay. I don't know if you probably haven't, has the rest of the board seen this document by any chance? I think the email went out today, so. I actually did read it, and I guess I got a couple of questions. One being, on the last page, with the, it's not the last page, I think the last page is signatory, but the page that is the end of the actual wording of the document. And it's the last, actually next to the last paragraph. The last paragraph is just a single sentence, but. And the way I interpret this, and obviously I'm not a lawyer, don't intend to be a lawyer, I'm not trying to be a lawyer. But it says the town's right of first refusal shall not apply to any transfer or succession of title to any charitable organization affiliated with the grantor, including without limitation the Massachusetts State Grange Patrons of Husbandry Incorporated, for the purpose of carrying on the charitable purposes of the grantor at the premises, provided, however, that this instrument shall remain in full force and effect following such transfer. So, if it was to be transferred to a charitable organization, including the Massachusetts Grange, then the town wouldn't be able to have the right of first refusal, is the way I interpret that. Now, whether that's correct or not, I don't know.
All right, that's not the way that the State Grange interpreted it, but let me also go back to the fact that what's in that document as we've presented to you is a sample.
Okay,
And we can put in whatever clauses we agree upon. There's also an item in there, if you'll note, where after 50 years, that particular Grange no longer owes the money on the hall.
Right.
Okay? So there's plenty of room for adjustment to whatever we agree upon, and then it goes to the State Executive Committee. But
Okay.
that, as I said, that was a basic sample of
Yep.
what had been done, because they were dealing with Community Preservation Act also. And they do have a historical building.
yeah. Okay. Is there any other discussion? or-
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. This whole thing, I know it's been on the table for a couple of years. When I've gone to CPC meetings, I wasn't on the board here, probably when people came in before.
It's been on the table for a year. A year, because, well, not even quite a year, because it was late in the spring when we found ourselves before the board the historical commission, and they told us that they didn't want us using vinyl sign on the building, and they proposed something different, which eventually brought us to Mr. Jakewith here and a whole new design to bring the building back to a historical aspect that it once was in the 1800s. We had come before the board at that point just to find out what the powers were of the historical commission, and at that time it was recommended that we go for a community preservation grant. Mr. Jakewith has been so kind as to create a architectural rendering, which does look very much like what the building was in the 1800s. Only it's half a building now.
Yeah, missing a piece, it's next door.
It's a half a building. So it was so late that there were questions rising about what's going to happen to this building. The minutes of the community preservation groups expressed that should the Grange go under, which we're not looking at that now. We're just looking at something that could happen in along the way. Okay, you always have to prepare. I mean, we all know we're going to die sooner or later, and hopefully the organization won't.
Exactly.
But at that time, they really didn't bring an act on it. It was questioned as to what would happen to the building. The community preservation group felt that the State Grange getting the building would create a windfall for the State Grange. And so therefore, that's not the impression we wanted to have. We wanted a cooperative thing here in which it wouldn't be seen as the Grange making a profit, so to speak. And in talking with the executive committee, this is what they said had been done. So we're not to the year mark yet, but it's been out there.
I guess part of my concerns is it started out as a rehab of vinyl siding, or
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, they told us they
it's
didn't.
grown into a major rehabilitation project. And I guess
Right.
CPC funds are in tight supply, and we're looking at a number of renovation projects. Obviously, we started some on town-owned facilities,
Yeah.
and this is a huge investment in a piece of private property that the town may eventually receive, but I'm not sure, or I don't see at this point, what benefit it is to the town to take that building. In other words, let me just finish.
Okay.
Right now, we're looking at the need to construct a fire station. We need to replace the temporary police station buildings up there. We're looking at, we okayed tonight the contract to re-side the center school. We're gonna be going out to bid before too long to construct an elevator in there and do some major renovations in that building. We're also looking at using CPC funds, and a good deal of them, to hopefully purchase, or we're looking at purchasing a 200-acre Girl Scout property. So this is a huge, this project puts a huge dent in it. And I'm not sure that we have, if the town were to take this building, at whatever point that the Grange gives it up, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it. Because it's another old, even though it might be renovated, it's another old building. It has no real parking area. With the renovation of the center school, we're not really gonna have a requirement for a lot of office space, et cetera, and I just think this is
That building.
a huge investment of money for, it's competing with a number of other projects, and it grew from, a siding project into this huge project that I just think is at this point is something that the town, I have serious doubts whether we can afford to do it in line with all the other projects that we're looking to, that we really need to do.
Selectman Peterson, you're already speaking for the community preservation then. Because some of the things that you're listing off, in my opinion, should be coming out of whatever bonds or taxes that the town has available. You're looking at a building that was originally the town's. And the Grange purchased it back in the 60s. And since then, we have put money into that building. We've had new roofing done, we've had the interior done, the electricity has a brand-new furnace system in it right now because we didn't get anything on the community preservation grant last year. We funded the thing. The Grange will be doing fundraising in the process. But this building, to say that it's not important to the town, as it stands right now, it's very important to the town. It is the only building in town of its size. It has a hall upstairs, whereas the town hall here is way too big. The hall itself is open to any town resident, and the only thing that we ask is that they make a donation for the utilities for the use of it. And there are quite a few functions that are held there, particularly funeral collations, showers, birthday parties, and so forth.
It's
So it is used.
no alcohol.
Yeah,
the
there's
building.
not alcohol. It is a very important building to this town. Rowley Grange puts a lot of the money that it raises every year into this town, including the fire department. We have given donations to the police department. If you were to see the minutes of the meeting, you would realize that in cooperation with the fire department, we were an organization that jumped right on board and helped them buy a fire truck with S&H green stamps. Everybody, I am sorry that the information came up because I feel right now that everybody seems to think that Rowley Grange is going under, and that's absolutely not the case. We've been around for nearly 120 years. The State Grange has been around for 140 years. We have always tried to do what the towns and the communities needed. And we will continue to do that. We have suppers to raise money. A lot of those suppers, they help pay a percentage of the bills for the hall, but they also go back into the community through the school system, through the fire department, through the library. We are a community organization that supports its community.
And we just finished paying out $6,000 to the scholarships this year.
Which in the years that we've had the scholarships bring us up, what, $30,000 or $40,000?
50.
$50,000.
Yeah, no, my
10
concern
years.
is not questioning, you people do a lot of wonderful work.
I heard
Yeah.
that you feel that if the building goes under, the town has no use for it. If you notice the clause, the town has the first right of refusal. That's what we're offering. We're not expecting this building to be sold privately and then the town be, oh, well, we gave them a $200,000 donation. No, that's not the case at all. We want it to be fair for everybody. You say that the town has no use for that building. Well, unless you plan to do something much bigger for the Council on Aging can certainly use that building. They need a bigger dining room, they need more office space. That building would more than meet their needs.
More kitchen space too.
Yeah, I mean, we have a full-service kitchen with a
And-
commercial stove in it.
For the initial time that we went to CPC, we cut the budget on that by about $100,000. On any given month, you can find other projects, and I don't know which projects are more important, but it's part of the fabric of the downtown of Rowley, and I think some of the things that have happened over the past 5 years in the downtown have been very important on putting Rowley on the map. What happened across the street, what happened with the nursery school. This is another building that has potential. It was the schoolhouse that sits where Town Hall Annex is now. And it's short money for square footage of space to be usable. It's usable now, and it will be usable in the future.
It'll be more usable actually because we have it closed down right now because during the winter we can't afford the gas bill to. We find the exact gas bill would be exorbitant. There is no heating, there is no insulation in the walls, which would be rectified through this project, which would then make the hall a year-round piece.
We are meeting at the library once a month for the 3 months that the hall is closed. And it's a piece that's needed. I don't see it as a piece of real estate that the town would somehow be saddled with and have no use for. I don't see that happening, because the decisions made right here as selectmen and the contract between us will determine just what will happen when we're no longer around.
Yeah, I guess, I'm not saying that the town has no use for it. I just, at this point in time, we have a number of competing areas, and I guess my part of my concern is, it started out with, you were looking for a certain amount of money to renovate the outside of the structure. Now it's become, you want to insulate it, you want to do
Well,
this.
the thing of it is,
Before,
And
we were going to pay the bill for the vinyl siding, okay? Until the historical commission said, no, you can't put vinyl siding on the building. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do it with this kind of board. No, it's gotta be insulated. You can't do the vinyl siding with insulated. And then they continued to just add to the list.
But it's the same as what the town is doing to the annex. It originally was just recladding the annex.
Right.
But now you're doing insulation, and it certainly needs it, or else you'll have moisture problems coming out through the new clapboards. So there's a right way to do a renovation and probably a wrong way to do a renovation. Certain things should be in there. One of them should be insulation and handicap accessibility to the building.
Well, last September, when we went to open for the first meeting in September, because we had to take the summer off, we went up to get the furnace going, and there was no furnace. It was gone.
so overnight we had a furnace put in,
So
and we
we-
have two
we-
furnaces, one for upstairs and one for downstairs.
So that set us back about $34,000. And shortly after that, well, we have the building insured anyway. And this man called me on the phone. He said, I'm from the insurance company and I'd like to come down and see the Grange home. And I said, fine. So he came in and he just was amazed at the inside, that it was so nice and clean and picked up, and everything was just spit and polished. And he just came through the front door and he said, wow. Okay, he said, do you have a furnace? Yes, we have a furnace. Could I see it? Sure. He went down the first stair and he came back. He says, I don't need to stay here any longer. He says, everything is super. And that was that.
Well, I think we said our piece, and
Yeah.
you said your piece. It's up to you to make the decision.
If I could offer, from my own perspective, just a positive, in that from the Raleigh 375, we came to the Grange and asked for your support for, and see where you don't put on a summer program in July and August, that you agreed to support us by doing something for July and August in the Chowder Fest on the Common for September 6th. So,
And we're doing the Chowder Fest this
March too.
yeah,
right.
Yeah, the March.
Right.
21st.
So I do want to just offer.
And the National Grange awarded us the most outstanding Grange in the country again this year. So I don't think there's any more to say.
Well,
You've heard us, we've heard
you
you.
just have to decide what you want to do with the document. We're basically seeking the approval to go before the community preservation. I have gone to that site, I've studied the minutes that have been there, I've gone and looked at other sites. Maybe we need to put ourselves in a position where we apply 3 different years. I don't know, but, you know, the town is guaranteed its money back somewheres along the line.
Yeah, I think definitely needs some work on that. example of the document that would actually put that together. There are a couple of things in there that I have concerns about.
In the process of looking for a volunteer lawyer to go along with a volunteer architect, and because we have to do a preservation write-up, much like the jewel mill. Even though it's in a
So
historic.
you're actually borrowing under historic category? Is that how is that working? Or is it?
I don't know where CPC is actually categorizing it.
Because the only thing you needed a historic restriction on would be if historic funds are used.
I'll talk to Frank. No. Because to me, it's in a historic district, so it's
Well, it's definitely in the district, but it doesn't necessarily
Limited.
mean it's an historic restoration.
everything we're trying to do is historic, other than the ramp, but we're trying to make that as unnoticeable as possible. So, it's a good question.
Sounds to me, Mr. Chairman, that, you know, in other words, you people have talked to the historic group, you've talked to CPC. I've been back on the board. I was off the board for a while. I've been back here since last May. This is, other than what I've seen at the CPC meetings, I haven't been privy to a lot of information about exactly what's going on there. And I certainly don't want to shoot the project down, but I think we need to do some behind-the-scenes work. It's tough to come into a public meeting like this and look for, you know, us to okay the town taking that building without getting some more information, some discussions. You mentioned that maybe it should be a 3-year project instead of a 1-year project. I mean, these are all good suggestions that I think need to be discussed between members and then kind of come together with a proposal that we can all agree on. I mean, I find it difficult tonight, to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm not at all knocking the Grange. I think the Grange does great work, and I know I read all the stuff you guys do.
You still seem to be, what you're saying, you still seem to be worrying about
Well, I'm concerned
whether the
because
town can
this is
use
one
this
project out of many that, I mean, right now, we're involved in a number of projects, and a lot of them involve CPC funding.
And there will continue to be.
And we want to, you know, I'm not saying we don't want to help you out or work with you or whatever. One of my concerns obviously is I don't think the town really needs this building. And I say that in the terms of required office space, but on the other hand.
But you're assuming that the town's gonna have to take this building over.
Well,
Please don't do that,
Well,
because
this is why what I'm saying is when I first heard this proposal, it was that's exactly what was gonna happen. Now you seem to say, no, it's not, that's what's gonna happen. I'm getting, over the last year, it's been conflicting, and I just wanna make sure, that's why I'm saying, maybe we need to meet in a small group with 2 or 3 people.
Let's figure out how we can do
From
that,
each,
David.
with a person from each, just to try and figure out exactly where you people want to go, where you need to go, what you need from the town.
I want to live forever and keep going.
No, I mean, we've
well,
got,
what we want is the town's good housekeeping seal of approval on an agreement similar to, with whatever we want for wording, so that 100 years from now, if something should happen to the Grange, that the town isn't defaulting on the money we got from it, all right? And that's the biggest piece right now. And the thing is that when it was originally presented in front of the community preservation, the first question that came up was, well, this is going to be a windfall for the Massachusetts State Grange. That's not the case at all, not with that agreement.
this is why I'm saying some homework needs to be done amongst all of us. I mean, I can't sit, I'll be really honest with you, I can't sit here tonight and vote for this. But on the other hand, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I think we need to come along a ways and work with each other to come up with a plan that's acceptable to us, and ultimately that we can go on town meeting. I mean, the taxpayers
We want to do it this
ultimately
year.
are the ones who decide.
We want to do it this year.
It's-
And we've already been
Let's
nearly a year, and that's what,
let's figure out with Dave how we can make this thing work so that you're happy, we're happy, and we can make some progress.
Not necessarily me, I mean, I'm only one member of the board, so if other members,
Right.
maybe everybody except me is 100% in favor.
Well, no,
I don't
still-
know,
I
it's just that, I just see this as being something that you're asking us to take a huge jump here with very little information, and having conflicting information that I've had going to the past CPC meetings that I've attended, and we've been to a number of them on
Let's-
town projects, and I just don't want to put my John Hancock on this at this point. And I'm not saying I'm against it, but we need to really,
Let's figure out how we can make it work or not work.
yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what
Okay.
my suggestion is.
Where do we start?
I think that too, that what this document is offering, you know, and we do have to work on the wording, is they're only offering a right of first refusal. It's not that the town is going to get the building.
Right, that's exactly the way it
That's
works.
exactly what it is.
But another concern that I have is that we're going to give you $240,000 of taxpayer money.
Down to 150.
Well, let's
the letter
say
that-
two-
the
let's
letter
say-
said 240, whatever.
Well,
Let's
this is
just
what
throw
I'm
out
talking about. We're getting all
240,000
kinds
in
of
3
facts
years.
and
Let's
figures.
try that.
This
That would
is,
I don't know where that
80,000
came
a
from, it
year.
went down.
Just for starters.
Well, why
Okay.
don't we just say we're gonna give you the 240,000, isn't it? And this is an example, okay, I'm not saying that this is what happened, but this is an example. You do the work, we give you the money, it's taxpayer money, you do the work, it increases the value of the building,
Okay.
okay? You get to the point where you're gonna give up the charter, goes to the state says Raleigh, town of Raleigh has first refusal. At the cost of a bidder. If somebody's putting an offer on the building,
If that is what you would agree to.
well, that's it. Now, see,
All
we're
right.
dealing with this supposedly agreement that needs to me, needs some work. I'm not gonna say a lot of
Oh,
work,
yeah.
but it definitely needs work.
We didn't have anything. We had a blank sheet of paper when we started this,
No, I understand.
okay?
We weren't even
The
sure it
thing
could be done.
is
so.
that obviously the building is going to be worth more money.
Mhm.
And if it's sold outright, we already know that the asking price has got to be above or equal to what CPC gives us. That's pretty much clarified.
The
Well,
town,
it doesn't say that in there,
but
but,
the town
okay.
should take the first refusal, and then if they do not want the building, they could set the standards of what that building becomes, rather than the other way where the state Grange just puts it out and real estate broker.
Right, but I mean, you're gonna do the same thing anyway. You're gonna have to have prices if the town takes the first refusal, because it's gonna be the high price that the town has to pay.
No.
No,
That's what this thing, that's.
Again,
I know again, but
Yeah,
this is what
again.
you presented to us today. I got this today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just had a chance to very briefly read it.
The document was
This
given
definitely
to
needs
you
some
with
more
the
work.
idea that a deal or a contract has already been done through the state Grange for another Grange Hall.
No, I understand.
This
it's
is
an
better
example.
than the
Yeah.
blank piece of paper that we could come to you with.
Right, no, I understand
And
that.
again, it's a work in progress. What does Raleigh, the town of Raleigh need to have covered? What does Raleigh Grange need to have covered?
Yep.
We produce
And
the
that's a
document,
negotiation.
and that's it, yeah.
Okay.
Just to follow up on my concerns, in other words, as this is a work in progress. In the document you gave us dated December 30th, 2013, which was less than 2 months ago,
That's right.
that goes to the state Grange. In that document, you say the plan, which includes a detailed list of items to be done, and a drawing of the renovated building, concluding that the building renovation would be approximately $240,000. Now you're telling us that it's only going to be 150.
You know, the
But this is what I'm saying.
the
In other
figures
words,
haven't been
David,
decided
somebody-
upon
but
yet.
this is what I'm saying. Why
Somebody
you're
use the
you're
difference.
asking us to make a decision
Okay,
with a
let's see if
a
we,
variety of. I mean, you're telling us different information tonight than what the document that you gave us. And like I
The
say, I'm not
doc-
trying to shoot
They're
this
using
project
the-
down, I'm
the-
trying to say,
Wait a minute.
we
The
need to
first-
sit down.
Wait a minute, David. The
We need to sit
document
down and
itself.
come to some agreement amongst the parties, and then we can all come together and say, okay, fine, we'll agree with you, and we'll go forward, and we'll agree with the C. If it doesn't happen by May, then it'll happen in the fall. Why
Why will it happen?
why does this have to happen? Is a building
Because you've already, because.
for this town meeting, I guess?
No.
And bring the stuff in now when we're,
If things aren't, all the ducks aren't in a row, David, there's no sense rushing it to town meeting in May.
yeah, that's not. But if you
But
get
are
our
you going
okay
to have
tonight,
a
you're
town-
looking to go to the CPC to get it in this town meeting coming up, and I'm not ready to give you that. I'll be perfect, I'll put it right on the
Well,
table.
let's get.
Until we have some more discussions about exactly what we're talking about spending, exactly what we're talking about doing, and it's not just the historic people. I mean, the historic people dictate probably the design and the materials and stuff like that, but
We
they
have a
don't
letter of
dictate.
support from the Historic Commission.
But, I mean, do they have the same, I mean, what are you doing for, what's the difference in the project between 240,000
We took
and
some-
150,000?
It was all interior stuff that we took out.
Right, so, but I mean, this is stuff that, like I
This
say,
is-
I'm not against it necessarily, but I certainly need more information before I can
That's-
put my
All right,
my
you,
signature.
Should we
And
work-
I don't know how
should
the
we
other
work
members of the
through-
board feel.
Work through Debbie to set up that.
Yeah, contact Debbie and we'll see what we can do. I mean,
well, I'd like to see the selectmen meet and decide what they want for wording in a document. Again, that document is a sample. You'll notice that the name of the Grange and the county and the town of
Yeah,
the
no, I
and has been crossed out for a purpose, because
Well, this is
we
part of
didn't
the
want a
problem, is to
public
give us
building.
to give us a sample document and just say, this is what we want you guys to, I'm sorry,
But Peter,
we-
Mr.
we
Peterson,
just-
I
we
could
just
have
can't-
given you a blank document and stood here and told you what I did tonight,
and
and
we
it
would-
still
and-
wouldn't have been any good.
and we would have said, let's sit down and discuss this as a.
Well, that's what I'm asking you to do right
And that's what we
now.
want to do now, but I want
the
to have the
selectmen
discussion
need to do
before we
it.
take a vote, not take the vote and then have some discussion that we don't know where it's going, if we even at that time comes. with it.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Well, and involved in that discussion should be, somebody should, from CPC should be involved in that.
All right. you
He
can-
seems to be the representative for it.
No, I mean, other members of the board are
No, I
certainly
don't-
free to say
As
something.
long as we come to a good conclusion,
Yeah.
that's all I care about. And I've taken on this building because I think it's a great
No,
building.
I have no objections to that, but saying the procedure of the process here is critical to the town.
Well, that was
Okay,
just
thank
a-
you.
just
Good
a
night.
plan.
Thank you.
Sorry, not happy. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. The time being 8:04, we have the next appointment, which
Mr.
is,
Chairman, we got a couple of things left, if you
Can we-
want to
can we
squeeze
throw
them
them
in.
in?
I think
Okay,
we
yeah.
could. New business, 1 and 2, we can hold over the minutes if you like, to next week.
okay, we can do that, Deb. Okay, why don't we go to the new business, we can get through those in fairly quick order here. New business number 1 is signed fire station lease extension. Okay. The fire department building fire station lease runs out on February 28th. So in order to forego that default on that lease, we've requested from the Fire Protection Association an extension. And it's the Town of Raleigh acting by and through the Board of Selectmen and the Raleigh Volunteer Fire Protection Association, Inc., hereby agree to extend the lease of 7 Hannah Street from March 1, 2014 until midnight, April 30th, 2014, as an executed by the parties on February 22nd, which should be 24th.
Right.
No, Mr. Chairman, that's the original,
So I'll just
no,
pin that.
no, that's the original lease. It's referencing the original lease that's an extension
Okay,
that was executed on February 22nd, 2010.
okay, and attached here
Oh.
too.
It's not attached to there, but you know I have the lease, I will attach it to it.
Okay. All right, is there any discussion? Any comment? I'll entertain a motion to extend the lease.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, so Bob Snow gets back.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, under new business, item number 2, storm update. Okay. We have been faced with a winter of extreme temperatures and multiple severe storms. Our highway department has been out straight not only with plowing, sanding, and salting our streets, but also with maintaining the supplies of salt and sand under the threat of shortages. The budgeted amount for snow plowing for fiscal 14 was $80,000. To date, $220,000 has been expended, leaving the town with a deficit in the snow and ice removal budget of $140,000. So we have had a much heavier winter than we did in the past couple of 3 years, considering. And 2 years ago, we didn't even spend the 80,000. So the guys have been working a lot of hours down there, putting in a lot of time, keeping our streets cleared. And under kind of tough circumstances, because as we know, our highway surveyor last March, almost a year from now, a year ago, passed away very suddenly. And workers down there stepped up to the line and have done in my opinion, a fantastic job keeping the streets cleared and keeping the town operating. I think it would be kind of nice if we offered a citation to the employees down there, particularly in memory of Scott at this time, because of the anniversary coming up, his 1-year anniversary of passing away. I don't know how the rest of the board feels about that.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would concur with you. I think that under very difficult circumstances, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the highway surveyor was one who, on a salary, he was out there all hours, Scott Levitt, all hours of day and night plowing, sanding. He was a worker as well as the highway surveyor.
We call those hands-on managers.
Hands-on managers. I believe you were that way over at the light department.
I won't.
So I guess what I'm trying to say here is we've replaced Scott with Ron, who was the foreman, on an appointment until the next election. And I don't think, did we hire anybody to replace him as we replaced the highway surveyor with one of the workers there, but we didn't, no one else was hired on a full-time basis to replace Ron's position. So we're actually conducting snow plowing and salting and general highway operations with less help than what we had before as far as what's been going on down there. And I think to step into this in a year when we've really been getting inundated with cold weather and a lot of snow, even the rainstorms have resulted in having to go out and sand and salt because of the cold
Freezing temperatures, yeah.
that have happened. And I mean, the roads are going to need a lot of potholes filled too, the way things are going. But I think that Ron, who's filled in, and the other highway workers really deserve to be commended for coming in and doing a great job under difficult conditions with the loss of their longtime boss, and trying to do the expertise of spending, the budget and hiring and cleaning up and doing all this stuff. So I think that accommodation at this point would be appropriate, and then just do, Ron's gonna be, his appointment is up as far as the interim highway surveyor come the next election, and this would be one way of the town thanking him for filling into the position and doing an excellent job under the very, very severe conditions. So I would concur with your recommendation.
Any other comments?
I just say I agree with Selectman Peterson.
No, I'd say the same thing. They've done, haven't got to speak for what they did. They've done a good job down there, as far as I'm concerned. And that's a good recommendation to send the whole department a letter thanking for what they did down there. That's all I can say about it.
I'll make that motion. Send a
Second.
letter.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So, Mr. Chairman, just so you know, looking at the budgeted information, Sue Bailey had pointed out that she just wants us to be aware that while we can deficit spend in this fiscal year, we have to realize this will affect the fiscal 15 budget. So that's, right now, at least $140,000 less than we're gonna have to spend next year.
Right.
And,
And it's probably gonna be more than.
yes, because they were trying to buy more salt when
Oh, that
when it
and the
became
fact that-
available, so that's, several $1,000s, and some more cold weather, and it's, when it gets to be actually maybe not snow, but rain that freezes, then you really need the salt.
Yeah.
It's less of a plowing,
We're
and,
talking something on Wednesday,
Operation.
possibly. They're talking in flurries to an inch.
I know.
Yep,
So,
But they're hinting about something on Sunday night, Monday.
right.
They haven't
Still
really
got a
said
month
anything
to
about
go.
it, but
Yes,
Yeah.
a whole month, possible.
we really won't know, until the season's over, what the effect of this winter's gonna be.
exactly. So, we gotta keep that in mind. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Okay, so is that it on the new business? That's it for me.
Yep,
No
And
meeting
we will
tomorrow.
actually postpone the
I
minutes of
have an email
January
ready to send
27th,
out. No meeting.
regular meeting and executive session meeting until the following week. And we'll get the chairman back so he can handle that stuff for us. Quickly over the announcements, the town has the following vacancies: Conservation Commission, 1 seat; Finance Committee, 1 seat; Fence Viewers, 2 positions are open; Wood Lumber and Bark Inspector, 1 position open; Zoning Board of Appeals Associates, 2 open seats. For more information on these positions, please contact the Selectman's office at 978-2372. As a reminder, the battery recycling box is located at the Town Hall and at the library. Town Hall, across from the clerk's office. I dropped my batteries in here tonight when I came in to do the meeting. Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. Food Pantry is open Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And please remember, town meeting will be held on Monday, May 5th, 2014. Thank you. Our next appointment, it being about 15 minutes past that, but we get through the rest of the meeting, is at 8 o'clock, joint meeting with the Planning Board and Town Council Judith Pickett. Herzog Lane and executive session. So if we could get the, Planning Board in.
you want them, do we do a motion before they come in, or? do they
Well,
to
we
wait
have
for
an
them
open
to
session
come
discussion, so we'll open the joint meeting when they come in.
in? Okay.
Judy, why don't you just sit up here?
It's on hold.
Let me just give you a few things too.
Have those planning board handouts. Session.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, John.
Hey, what, that's this.
Down on Judy Pickett.
Am I on your bad ear side?
I did.
No, I don't have bad ears, I just don't have any.
How are you doing, Judy?
Pretty good.
This is what I wrote out.
Okay.
Discussion.
Let me, if you can do that before Wednesday, that would be good.
You need more? Maybe they can share.
We can share.
Okay.
We're friends.
Thank you.
It's just what you want at 8 o'clock.
Well, right now I'm going to apologize for being 15 minutes late. We did run over a little bit, and I do apologize for that. I really do. I appreciate your patience waiting for us to get to this point. And
You
it's
seem to be missing something.
a joint meeting with the planning board and town council Judith Pickett. The vice chairman calls for a motion to open the joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and Planning Board by a roll call vote.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor by roll call vote signify by saying aye.
Aye. Jack Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
Aye, Robert Mary.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
Hi, Stephen Castroneves.
Curtis Bryant.
Hi, Chris Thornton.
I, Jean Michelle.
I, David Jacob.
Thank you. Once the boards have convened in joint session, they will discuss the plan to have Gerzac Lane accepted at the spring town meeting.
Just, Mr. Chairman and
Yep.
Vice Chairman, just be noted, we have our town planner here too.
Oh, okay.
Kurt
He's a
Baker.
non-voting member though, right?
Right.
Okay.
Just-
No, we appreciate him coming.
Yeah.
He keeps us on track. We don't want the wheels to fly off, so. You're correct, you're right in there keeping an eye on us. The town took the remaining bond money at the fall town meeting to complete the remaining patch list items. The work cannot be done until the spring thaw has arrived. However, in the meantime, we need to work on getting the road accepted at the spring town meeting. We need to have an as-built plan that contains the meets and bounds of the road. Debbie suggests that the planning board ask Larry Graham for a quote to prepare the as-built with the layout of the road on the plan. Currently, the planning board's balance in the consultant line has approximately $5,000 ideally. It would be good to have Larry Graham prepare the plan and the meets and bounds description. Debbie will have the town's attorney prepare the deed. We will place an article on the warrant referencing the plan, which will be on file in the selectman's office because the plan may not be done in time for town meeting. The selectmen need to hold a street layout hearing before town meeting. After town meeting, the plan will get the developer to sign off on the deed. We will record the plan and deed at the registry of deeds. We also need to make sure that all the lots in the subdivision have been sold. So does that sound about right for you guys on the planning board?
Yeah, it's somewhat in motion, right? With Larry, right? It's in motion. Yeah, those items are in motion at this time. One thing I didn't know, so all the lots have to be sold?
No, I'd just like to know if they are all sold, if we've got one of them still hanging.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know where we are? And
I believe they are, except we had a little bit of a glitch today.
Well, we did check,
Okay.
there's a landlocked sort of
There's a
lot
landlocked lot
that has
there.
no frontage on Gerzac Lane, that's actually owned by the Gerzacs, not by the developer at all.
Okay, I
Which is,
believe-
it's actually, the frontage is town-owned land that's, has frontage on
Meadows Lane.
Meadows
Yes,
Lane.
and it was, he tried
Meadows
to,
Lane?
they tried to get a piece of that land off of Meadows Lane.
Right.
Because it was adjacent to the roadway, there was like a sidewalk area there or something.
Yeah.
And it went through, I believe, 2 town meetings, and it did not pass.
Right.
So the land is just sitting there landlocked.
Yeah,
I don't believe it's part of the subdivision, but I think there's clarification pending
It
with
may
Larry
be
Graham.
part of the
Yeah,
original
I
house lot.
saw the plan for the first time today and saw it landlocked. Obviously,
was there an
they
amended
couldn't
plan?
find sufficient frontage on the radius of that cul-de-sac, on the circumference of the cul-de-sac,
Right.
to make that a,
Now,
they might have tried for a shared driveway or something.
The original Gerzac lot is on that plan also? I know, I haven't seen the plan. so-
What, the end,
Yeah,
on the cul-de-sac?
There is,
I'm gonna have Kurt pull it on, Wednesday?
I've got a copy here of the approved subdivision plan.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
which is a
believe
5-lot
if
subdivision.
if that lot
And
is
it
part
was-
of the subdivision,
But Kirk's gonna pull the file on Wednesday, when
Okay.
he comes back in, and I wanna read the decision.
There was no modification of the subdivision, was there? It was just that.
no, they tried to modify it, Judy, and that's when they went to town meeting twice to get the frontage
Yeah,
vote.
Judy, you're right, here's the approved subdivision plan, but it doesn't show that lot.
How did they get
I-
it shows it as one lot.
I believe it default, well, they laid it out originally as one lot, but they didn't have the frontage when they got the plan put together. So it didn't
What
show
shows
up on
it
the
as
plan. I believe that defaults back to the Gerzak original house lot, the house that they lived in.
Oh, they show it as one here. Yeah.
And see, there it
It's
extends.
all that land was at one
On the
time
other
their
sheet,
lot.
extension of lot 4.
So if that
So how did they
lot didn't
subdivide?
get in, that parcel of land didn't include in the
Then this can't be the
subdivision,
final if
it
this was
goes with the
subdivided.
house that's already there.
Was this subdivided later as a Form A or something?
Yes,
Oh, it was?
yes, it was not original.
So this was done as a Form A later?
They owned the land,
Yeah,
they owned the
they
house
did.
out front.
Right.
So I'm gonna, I would like to see on the file
I
that
think the
that
wife
was a
does, he
Form A.
passed away. He passed
He
away.
passed
The
away.
wife still lives, his wife still lives there, I believe, I'm not sure, I have to double check that. but-
So maybe I'll have Kirk send an email if he does some, if he has time. Do you have any time on Wednesday? Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah, I'm just curious that they're right, it's one lot there, yeah.
So is there any other,
Match lines.
any discussion, or?
So I guess we need to,
We need to
Kurt,
make
is it,
sure.
you're able to provide the funding, is that?
Yes,
We need Debbie the
we would
funding to,
need Larry Graham to start working on this
Yes.
if they can get a quote. You've got about 5,000 in your planner consultant budget. I'm not sure what the plans are to use that money, if you've got things that are gonna come up, obviously, through the
How many
course of the year.
How many outstanding bills have to be paid on that?
That's like,
So this would be his work that would be affiliated with project review. This would be to advise the planning board on various engineering things. So that's what you use that budget line.
That's what, yeah, and that's what it's for, but
Yeah.
well, there's some pending bills?
yeah, the
invoices?
ones that we, there was a
How much is that add up to?
1,446 right here, which will come in. That was for,
That will bring it down to 3,600 bucks.
Was, so that's just, that's the discretionary planner consultant
the planning
work,
consultant.
not related to
So-
subdivision
Is that all-
reviews and
Is that
anything.
all, is that all coming out of, is that stuff for us?
Out of that.
Or is that coming out of the applicants?
It comes out of the planning consulting account. That's the only one I really am aware of.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. Because Meeting House, no, because Institution for Savings, that comes out of that.
So some of that might come out of
No,
the
that comes
revolving
out of
fund then,
institution.
right?
No, that's not coming directly out of our, that's.
That's not out of the, that's
No.
the planning consultant account right there. That's that number. right
It
here.
is?
Yeah, that account.
Well, I guess if you get a quote from Larry
Well,
Graham,
don't-
I don't
Put
know
a
how
hold on
much.
this till I get it clarified, just don't put it
Okay.
through.
Okay.
I'll get that clarified.
So, I mean, he has to do some survey work, he has to prepare the
I'll call Larry.
as-built.
That should be coming out
Because
of.
we have to, we've got to do the work,
Okay.
because the developer's
Revolving account
not.
that the bank puts in for getting, they're coming before us on Wednesday to increase the parking at the bank, which, as you know, they need.
Yeah.
But that normally just, they pay for that usually, so.
so then, do we need a motion?
I do, I need a motion, actually, from the planning board to agree that they would, approach Larry Graham as the most logical engineer that we would have. That
Well, he certainly knows the project.
Well, absolutely. If he can do that as-built and the meets and bounds description, so we have the written description, so the town council, and we'll pay for the town council to do the legal work, including up to and recording this when we finally get to the point when we record this at the registry. So that's what I need from the joint boards, and as soon as we get that, we do need to get a layout hearing. I think the statute says, not less than 7 days before town meeting. So we need to move quickly on this, and that's why I took advantage of having the planning
I
board.
think he's done a
in
lot of that work already, it shouldn't be.
tonight. Okay, so the
All right,
cost
so
probably is not
He
gonna be
did
that
some
much.
peer review, right?
We'll move to have Larry Graham begin the work to lay out the roadway and then
Meets and
have
bounds and.
meets and bounds to the town council
An
to
as-built
prepare
plan.
meets and bounds description and have it signed and recorded at the registry of deeds.
As well as an as-built.
Is he doing the as-built?
Do you need two plans? I know Raleigh always does two plans. You do an as-built.
Well, we can do an as-built with the overlay of the layout. That's all.
Right,
As
it's the
long
same-
as
it's
all
the
the data is
It's
there.
the same thing.
The selectmen have a different purpose than the planning board on that plan. They need to review the as-built, but the selectmen need the layout. As long as it's all on one
It's pretty
plan,
much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
With the information all in one plan.
that's fine.
All right, so, another second
Second.
by David Jacob. Gene, you writing this down?
No.
We're taking the minutes.
Oh, you're taking, okay. You're off the hook, okay.
Why
Second,
are
I
you
was,
not a woman to take notes?
only because you've been so good. Oh, jeez, don't even start. Force of habit in the past. Thanks, good point, though. All right, all's in favor?
Roll call vote.
Roll call
Oh,
vote.
roll call vote.
Chris Thornton, in favor.
Kurt Bryant in favor.
Steve Cassius in favor.
Jean Petrello in favor.
David Jakewitz in favor.
Okay,
Okay, and then the selectmen will authorize me to continue to work with the planning board and do the town's share, the legal work.
right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll
to
make that
effect.
motion.
I'll second.
Second, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Roll call vote.
Hi, Jack Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
Aye, Robert Mary.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
All opposed? Motion carried.
How do we prevent this from happening again?
That's a good question.
That's your task. In the
But this
next
should be-
6
this-
months, figure out.
Joe, Dave, you want to make that a motion?
It shouldn't be in any of the projects.
I agree.
Well,
It's-
Steve, we have you on the boards. That's
We're
what's
running
going on.
around doing a lot of cleanup at this point on various projects.
We're gonna
that have
knock them
been-
down one by one.
Yeah, that's what's going on, basically.
We're gonna knock
And
'em
hopefully,
down.
moving forward, new projects come on board.
Planner.
We're not gonna run into
Keep
it.
it up,
Oh,
Mike.
yeah.
Well, it's
We got,
all-
one of the things we are going to do is, when, in our decisions, put time limits on completions. You know, we're not gonna be, so,
And the other thing, Kurt, is, you now have, Kurt is the second town planner. You had one, yeah, her name slips my mind at the moment, but
Katrina O'Leary.
Katrina. And now you have him, so that you have a town planner who is gonna be following up on it. In the past, we've had an executive secretary over there, and
No, they all fell through the cracks.
everything fell through the cracks. At this point, we're hoping that with the appointment of these two
You-
town planner positions, that this is gonna be follow-up and follow through, and make sure that these projects go to completion and not just get carried
No,
through
and
quarters
Steve,
and then
yeah.
kind of get dropped
Well,
off.
I'm-
there.
And Steve's really on a, what would you say, you're on the warpath with keeping enough surety.
Oh, I think they should all, nothing should be given back until they walk out and everything's completely done. Oh, they got no incentive to come back.
Well, that's your board, that's what your board should be doing, is following through, and with your town planner, I think that'll happen. I think, I'm hopeful anyway, that this is
Like
an issue that
the
won't be
the last
happening.
project, one came back for $100,000. Well, this guy's making a fortune off the town, but yet he wants $100,000 back now. Well, why can't he wait till the end?
Yeah.
I don't, I just didn't see, I'm dead set against giving money back until everything's done, lock, stock, and barrel.
Well, but statute says.
Yeah, yeah.
when they- when
Well,
they-
change laws then, change the bylaw, change the town law.
Well,
You know,
you
put up-
Change our rules and regs.
You
right?
can
Yeah.
always hold back everything that's sufficient to complete what remains to be done.
Add more. I think they should all put up
10%.
$250,000. There's a $15 million project going on, and he's worried about $100,000. Come on.
Well,
Such is life.
no, but I think what Steve's saying is, to make it worthwhile, 20 grand, as much as I talked to counsel for Mr. Pellich and several times to his counsel to try to track him down, and then Katrina was actually able to track him down. But evidently 21,000 was not enough to bring him back to the table
Right.
at all.
He was willing to walk away.
Right. And stick the town, and then, as you know, there's
That's
potential.
happened
For,
before.
there's a potential
Yeah,
for the town to
it
have
shouldn't
to.
happen because everybody sitting here is going to pay.
No, we agree. So, all right.
Okay, Deb, before we go to executive session, we have to close the open meeting.
No, we're gonna go,
Go right in from the
both
open.
chairs have the motions to go into executive session, so Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, the planning board could make their motion first,
Yep.
then the selectmen, and you
You got a
finished
copy of
all
that,
your
Kurt?
business, so.
I'd like to call for a motion to go into executive session and discuss strategies with respect to litigation. Because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town, and to not return to open session. Can I have a motion?
I move to open the executive session
To discuss strategies.
to discuss strategies with respect to the litigation.
I second.
And I'll take a vote by roll call.
Chris Thornton in favor?
Stephen Cassiodis in favor.
Jim
Petrello in favor?
David Jenkins in favor.
Kurt Bryant in favor.
Okay. You guys are in executive session, we're not. So I entertain a motion to enter executive session to discuss strategies with respect to litigation because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town and to not return to open session.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor by roll call vote?
Jack Cook.
Hi, Joe Perry.
Hi, Robert Mary.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
Gentlemen, we are in executive session. We will take a 2-minute recess, basically, to allow the cable technician to come up and remove his equipment,
Yes.
and we'll start our meeting.